Hey, this is Matteo Lane.
I'm Emma Willman.
And this is Inside the Closet.
Inside the Closet.
Welcome to another episode of Inside the Closet. I'm Emma Willman, and my co-host is Matteo Lane. Today, we're both in different area codes. I'm in Los Angeles. He's in Spain. And we get a chance to catch up. We talk a little bit of pop culture, catching up about the VMAs, my recent obsession with Pete and Ariana, which was truly embarrassing. And I get a little talk in with Kike about what it's like to date a comedian. Very interesting to hear the other side of things. As always, thank you guys for listening. I can be followed at Emma Willman, and Matteo can be followed at Matteo Lane. Please rate and subscribe. That really helps us. We're trying to get on the charts. Thanks, guys. Hey.
Okay, Emma.
What are you up to?
I'm in my Speedo in Spain with Kike caressing his back. And he says hello.
That's like the most phone. That's like phone sexual.
It's very call me by your name right now, except we're age appropriate.
I'm sitting in a park.
Age appropriate.
I'm sitting in a park. I actually still haven't seen that movie. I'm sitting in a parking lot in LA. Anybody that has them in LA, it's very well documented that it's spread out and you need a car to get anywhere. But right. I personally like driving. Here's where I have the problem, and this is so ridiculous. I have a problem because I'm so used to, so bad at planning that, like, the way, if I'm not eating at home, the way that I'll like eat in New York is I'm walking down the street or I'm somewhere and I'm like, I'm hungry, and then I just go into a bodega and it's done. In LA, right. It doesn't take much planning, but it takes a 2% of planning, which I don't have. So I'm always fucking hungry here because I'll be driving to like something or like go to a meeting and then they don't have a bodega at the meeting. So then I'm like in my car, like, where do I get food? And then I'm driving around and then I don't know like how to get food. So it's like I'm fucking.
Well, that's the thing with Los Angeles too. It's like, and sometimes even if you do see food, like one time I really wanted coffee, but I was driving and then I saw a Starbucks and I was like, oh, I can't park at that Starbucks. I see the thing that I want and I can't get to it. And if you want to get to it, it's so obnoxious. And then one time I was starving and I was like, oh, maybe I'll eat there.
Matteo, I'm constantly starving.
Yeah, that's why everyone's so thin in LA. It's not because they're actors and actresses, because they just can't get to the food they want.
Yesterday I had to cancel 2 shows. This is what happened. I've been doing hot yoga since I'm here. I found there's like a free week promo thing of this place called Core Power Fitness. Do you remember when I took the yoga class? Pretty gay. Yeah. Except I've noticed it's a lot of straight guys in there. Remember when I took the fitness class with my sister, like the booty butt blast? Way back.
A booty. No.
We named an. We actually named.
Wait, I have a question.
We named an episode after it.
Why do they sound like? Oh, I forget what I say after 2 seconds. But why does every single like yoga place sound like some sort of like horrible gay porn? Right? It's Core Power, Booty Butt Blast. It's like, yeah, these were videos that were banned in the 1970s. Right. I can't even believe that people are paying, like mothers are paying to go to these classes. You know what bothers me is, like, I was in Central Park and I was walking and there was like a group of mothers. Literally, the babies are in the carriages next to them. Like, the babies are like, I mean, weeks old. And the moms are in like some class, like the trainer, like a boot camp class, like the trainer's screaming at them. He's like, let's move. And I'm like, you know what, moms, you know what, can just like, I feel like it just was like this thing.
They have to find time to work out. They have no time for themselves.
But isn't it crazy that like in America, like men and women, we just have to be fuckable all the time? And it's like the thing that's next to you is the thing that you should be focusing on.
It's their mental health. They're working out for different reasons, probably.
But I mean, it's like there's literally like a fresh born child screaming for milk, and the mom's like getting yelled at by like some hot gay guy being like, "Give me 7 more, Sandy." And it's like, the thing in the carriage next to you is what you need to be focused on. You can wait 3 fucking months.
Moms just don't have. There's so much pressure on moms to do it all like that. There's an interview with Ali Wong, and the interviewer was like, so how do you do it all? Like, you have a kid and he's like are in shape and your career. And she goes, I'll tell you exactly how I pay for a nanny. She's like, it's not fair when people like these celebrity moms are like, oh, I just manage it. It's like, no, like I can afford to like have my kids be watched all the time.
Right. That's what she said in her special. She's like, the one joke I loved is she's like, my next life, I'm a Mexican. She's like, because Mexicans are born into a system. They don't need a nanny. They have a tia, an abuelo, a primo. I'm like, yeah, that's so true.
That is actually totally. Yeah, my friend, I have a friend and I graduated with her and then she lives with her mom, but she's like, oh, I have my own part of the house. And she's like, she was talking to me and like two other white girls and she was like, it's different. She's like, in my family, she's like, in Mexican family, she's like, it's much more traditional for us, like all to live together and we have our own space. But like, it's like we all do it unless we get married. And then when someone gets older, we move in again. She's like, it's like,
of
nice.
course.
Like, sounds fucking
Italians do the same thing. Oh, Emma, since this is coming out the week before our Netflix special, can we quickly talk about the trailer that they just released?
Yes. So our Netflix special comes out August 31st and this will come out. Oh, yes. Good math, Matteo. This will come out tomorrow, the 23rd.
And I am not only am I not in it, and I do not say a single thing, but it is like I'm not upset about it, but I'm
in
whatever.
Girl, you are in it. They just don't have dialogue.
It makes me feel like they didn't like me, and then I'm like, oh God, did I not do a good job or something? Like I felt like I did a great job, but then they just like focused on like everyone else. Am I being super insecure?
I completely understand because I constantly get it in my head that like anytime I do something with acting, the people think I'm a bad actor. So I'll be like, oh, this person, I just like picture like I go in for an audition and then the casting director's like, oh, it's so sad because she was so nice. But, like, she's just such a bad actor. And I had an audition the other day where the woman really liked me. Like, she's like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Like, I really, like, I wanted to have you in here before, blah, blah, blah. The part was like for like a gay character. I know the star of the show. Like, it's a date that I could do. Like, the woman was rooting for me and then she kept asking me to give different variations and I thought I was doing a good job, but I couldn't feel it. And then I didn't hear anything over the weekend. So I like made this whole story in my head that like I needed that like the woman was just like, oh, it's like sad. It's sad that like, a nice person is such a bad actor, like blah, blah. And then so I asked my acting agent about it. I was like, I feel bad that the woman probably feels bad that I'm such a bad actor. And he was like, what? He was like, Emma. He was like, I met, she actually reached out and told me that they wanted to give the part to a person of color and a man. They're recasting it. And I was like,
I mean,
so
it's like, oh, so it literally has nothing to do with you.
Nothing. Yeah. And at this point, I was like, can you just tell her I know? Don't let her think that I don't know, that I'm not good at it.
What is with us comedians? We're so fucking needy.
Self-absorbed, like, too. Like, I was like,
yeah,
oh, you mean she hasn't been?
Right.
Because we were there. We know that you were great. You were great.
It's just so funny because like I texted you, I was like, oh, I was the obligatory faggot, where it's like the only part they show of me is like dancing or going yes, queen, yes.
Oh my God!
Not even something I say. It's a joke I put in it. So I'm like, but I mean, it's cool for you, and I'm not saying this is like you get this, but it is cool that like they have you in there a lot, which is great. I mean, they featured around one of the outtakes of when we were doing the interview. So they also. See, that's funny because the dancing, I didn't even think of that with the yes queen. I didn't even think of that. I know, I'm just so insecure.
But it's like what you feel insecure about is what comes up the first thing that we'll think it is. Because like right away I'll go to like, which it's just interesting too. Because like, that's like, I wonder what straight white guys think, like, if they're not featured in something. What do they think? Like, why do they, like, because they couldn't be, like, all think, oh, I look funny, and they couldn't relate to me because this and that. But what do straight white guys think?
I don't know. I don't care. I mean, it's like, I really don't give a shit. I mean, look, I'm coming off, I should take this out because I feel like I'm coming off so, like,
no, you're not. No, Matteo,
you know what it is?
No.
And you know what it is because I was nervous. I'm nervous. I think that's what it is. I'm nervous.
it's interesting. It's so interesting and empowering for people, myself included, to hear someone like you who, I mean, I don't want people to be like, oh, they're just like massaging each other, but someone like you who's so good looking and talented to then feel insecure. Like, it's like when you say that stuff, I'm like, oh, that, like, okay, like everyone has that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I bet you talk to Angelina Jolie for like 3 minutes and she'll admit to you why she hates her life. You know what I mean? I feel like everyone you think is just like this huge star is just like, oh no, everything's horrible.
Totally. 100%.
I think it'll be, you know what? I shouldn't even complain. I have a Netflix special coming out and that's exciting. And I don't know. I'm staring at my beautiful boyfriend, Kike, who wants me to take a photo of him right now. I'm like, I'm on the phone doing my podcast. I can't.
Yeah, you're working. Did you guys watch the VMAs?
No, I didn't. I just saw Madonna for like being like, Aretha Franklin is me. I mean, it was like, first of all, I don't know what Madonna was wearing. She looked like a voodoo doll, and then, or she looked like someone who sells voodoo dolls. And then on top of it, she comes out there and she's talking all about her. I'm like, Madonna, this is not. And then people were like, well, it was supposed to be a tribute to Aretha Franklin, and I'm like, so what? I was like, she sounds crazy.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. What happened with it? Because I just saw the picture. So she was accepting an award.
No, Madonna was presenting. She was given an award. Now I don't even know. I just watched part of the speech that I clearly only watched enough so I could make fun of it. But yeah. Did you see what she looked like or no?
I saw a picture of it and then I was like, I got to see what Matteo thinks of this because I didn't get it. So she was dressing up as what?
She was dressed up as, I think, I don't even know. She went to like Home Depot and bought rope and tied it around her head, and then put a cross, and then like wore like a witch's cloak or something.
Now, and then who was she giving an award to?
I think she was getting the award or got the award. Or, I don't even know. Now I'm just talking out my ass and I don't even know.
Okay, because I couldn't tell what. Yeah, I couldn't tell what the fuck it was. And then someone tweeted at us that they liked it when we talk about pop culture. And I love. Thank you for saying that because it's fun.
Oh yeah, we should talk more about pop culture, shouldn't we? I'm working.
I like talking about pop culture.
Kike.
I like talking about.
Sorry, Emma. I'm literally having an argument with a Venezuelan man who's begging me to take a photo of him, and I'm like, I am barely. No,
I totally
can't take
ridiculous.
A photo of you.
Tell him he can't do that.
Emma says I can't do that, Kike. He doesn't care. He's in a Speedo. We should talk more about pop culture. I thought about that. We should have pop culture moments or something. But then I'm like, oh, all I care about is Mariah Carey making a new album.
Was Mariah Carey at the VMAs?
No, she's in Capri recording her album. Is it disgusting that I know that?
No.
I want to close in on Madonna and say this last thing about her because it's like, I really loved her when I was a kid and I thought she was such a badass. And then it's like, as she's getting older, she's still beautiful. I mean, I know she's had work done and stuff, but she's still beautiful. But it's just like, I feel like she's 60 and she's making very strange choices that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
that was the nicest way for you to say that. For someone who does such like zingers, like you're such a zinger person, that was such a nice way to say that. Think about that. You just said she's making strange choices. That was such like you could have just like ripped her down. She's making very strange choice. That means you're probably
concerned. Don't you think she is making? You know what it is? It's like, because when Ray of Light came out, that album, she was 40 when that album came out, and that was like, it was so like evolutionary and revolutionary for her because it was like the spiritual side of Madonna and this new type of music and this new look, and it was really like an evolved version of Madonna, and it was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like the same with Emancipation of Mimi for Mariah. But now Madonna is like 60 and she's still like, I fit into my daughter's jeggings. It's like, girl, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, show us some wisdom. Show us some, like, you know, like, be the icon that that you can be, instead of being like, my daughter and I were the same size. And it's like, you know, and then like walking out with like rope on your head and like a witch's cloak. Like, if you're not going to be a Disney villain, I don't know what any of this is for.
Also, it's like she's appropriating something. I don't know what, but there's something funny going on there.
She's appropriating the boat section of Home Depot. I mean, it was like, I don't know what she was dressed in. It was like mesh over here and rope over there and crosses over here. I was like, are you Ozzy Osbourne's like lazy cousin or something?
It's so...
Like, what are you doing?
You're making some strange choices, Madonna. She must not have a friend in the world that... Because if I wore even a piece of that, I feel like I've put time into cultivating friends that would be like, Emma, no.
Well, you would have someone in your life to say to you, this is inappropriate. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the thing is when you get that much, when you're that big and you have that much power, it's like, who's going to tell Madonna no? You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
Madonna has to get dressed and turn around and look at someone and say, how do I look? And there's got to be at least 7 gays there who'll be like, you look good. I mean, it's like, I don't know what, there's a lot of, there's a lot of strange choices happening. And also, may I just say this? Jennifer Lopez doesn't age. I don't know what deal with the devil she made.
I love her.
She looks amazing.
No,
I just found out that
I love her for several reasons. Tell me what you just found out.
Well, I found out that they created a Google search because so many people were trying to look up Jennifer Lopez's dress at the Grammys like 15 years ago that they had to put like a search thing so people could go and search for images. I heard that was a rumor, but if it's a rumor, it's good enough for me.
Well, I love her. If it's a rumor, it's a good enough for me. I love her.
It is good enough for me.
I love her.
That's all I need.
I get it. I love her because, okay, now I want this to come across the right way. She's a pretty good singer. She's a great dancer.
Who, Jennifer Lopez? I wouldn't say she's a good singer.
She's an okay singer. She's an okay actor, and she's an okay dancer. However, she's such a hard worker that she's made herself undeniable at each one of those things. So when someone can become super famous by the sheer willpower of pushing themselves to the limit of whatever they have, her natural body for a dancer, she had to work at all that. But because of her work, she created everything she is, and that's something I can get behind. I'm not naturally talented at anything. I'm pretty talented at networking and dirty talk, radio, and putting on a live show. Those I'm pretty talented at. Other than that, I'm not naturally talented at anything. Nothing. Not one thing. And even the putting on the live shows, hit or miss.
Well, this is the thing.
I'm not a naturally talented writer, but I'm a hard worker.
This is the thing with J-Lo. First of all, you are talented, Emma. And secondly,
because I work
with J-Lo is that she's a great dancer with a lot of drive. Is she a good singer? She's not a great singer. She's not even a great actress, but she can do it.
Makes it work.
She's so good looking that she makes it work.
And that's what I'm about. Someone who, Jennifer Lopez, Ryan Seacrest, Nick Cannon, these people have milked their smidge of talent. There's a comic in Boston. Every time I go see him, God, the guy is so funny, Matteo. He's so great. And he had a little bit of heat years ago, but then he moved back to Boston, and he's kind of like, I'm out. And when I go back and I see him, I go, God, that guy's funny. I was like, if I had one of his jokes, I'd be able to milk that into an hour special because I'd be like singing and dancing, and I'd figure it out. But
Emma, you don't give yourself enough credit. What's wrong with you? But
it's to say that I really at this point believe so much of it is about like the amount of work that you'll put behind it. Like my brother is really smart, but he's like was never really interested in now he started applying himself like later on. He's doing really well.
I mean all the people that you mentioned, Ryan Seacrest, Nick Cannon, it's like I think these people just show up and put in the work. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with
so
many people who are talented, but they don't want to put the work in. And it's if you don't want to put the work in.
Talk about putting in the work. I mean, Ryan Seacrest, literally what the fuck? And yet, like, he put in the work. If Ryan Seacrest can be as famous as he is, then every one of us can at least, like, own a bed and breakfast. You know what I mean?
And the weird thing about him, too, is I haven't met one person who likes him. I mean, he's like one of the most unlikable people. Who have you ever heard in your entire life that says, God, love that line, Ryan Seacrest. Thank God
I've never even heard someone talk about him.
Right, but he works more than anyone. So it's like he's an unlikable person who gets work. That's another thing, too, about him. the fact that they put him on the morning show with Kelly Ripa is the most ridiculous thing. I can't think of one person less likable and less relatable than Ryan Seacrest. Than to put him on the morning. You wake up and what is he going to say? My yacht won't work. I mean, it's like I'm trying to get my coffee made and get my 6 kids out the goddamn door. I have to watch Ryan Seacrest come up here and pretend like he's relatable and likable. I mean, it's all so ridiculous.
Well, he is an escape. The thing that's weird with him and Kelly Ripa is they're just like the same person. So that's where it's confused.
Yeah, but Kelly Ripa is likable. I mean, that's the weird thing about her is that she's actually likable. Right. When I was on American Idol, I'd watch American Idol as a kid. I was like, who is this gay man who is pretending not to be gay? Who is just he's like the Seacrest out. Like he's the cheesiest cheesy of cheesy.
I love that. I wonder what your Uncle Mike thinks of him.
Matteo, I don't, the Ryan Seacrest, he doesn't bother me much. I don't watch him. It doesn't bother me much, That's what he would say. By the way, I'm not saying Ryan Seacrest is gay. I'm just saying
I always thought that he was, but.
Everyone thought so. Did you see the video when Brittany realizes that he's not gay?
No.
Oh my God, when they're like, and Ryan's a girlfriend, and then she goes her eyes get really big, and then she whispers in a question, girlfriend? Like she was
God. I love her.
She couldn't believe it.
What I was
when she was still sort of lucid. That's what Kike is so mad at me right now.
Literally
not taking pictures of him.
Tell him to chill. It's just an hour. What do you got to do?
Emma said she goes, literally push him in the pool.
And I love
He's
him.
laughing.
I love him. Well, okay,
I love you, Emma. You're such a workhorse.
It's you got. I mean, well, what is this picture? Is it just an amazing picture?
A picture that's just laying down in a feet. I mean, it's not worth it.
He needs to start modeling.
I wonder what other pop culture stuff can we talk about?
Well, this was the thing. So here's something really embarrassing that I've started following, and it's really fucking weird. Now, this is weird. I cannot stop. This is weird. I can't stop following the Pete and Ariana accounts. I'm following this. I mean, I've known Pete now for years, but the person.
Yeah, we've known Pete for a long time.
I've known Pete for a long time. Years. I mean, I have this memory of I ran into him at Just for Laughs years ago, and my phone wasn't working, and I had to meet someone. And it was when he was dating our mutual friend, and I had just been with her, and he was like, "Oh, I'm good to see you. Sorry I didn't get to hang out with you guys." And then I was like, "Yeah, my phone actually stopped working." And then he took my phone, he waved his hand over it, and it started working again. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" And then that's when I was like,
"What is he Jesus now?"
Could be, because I was like, "How did he do that?" But watching, it's so weird to see someone now be mediated that but there's something about the two of them. It's like watching. It's just so. I can't stop watching it. I don't know what it is. It's the faces they make at each other. She kind of talks like a sexy baby. There's a lot of things going on. That's not an observation I had. The art therapist friend said that, but I was like, yeah, you're right.
It's kind of hard for me to I'm sure you feel like you're the same way. It's it's hard to comment on it because we know Pete. I have to say, you know what? Whatever makes him happy makes him happy. I honestly, it seems like it's working out. But to me, I'm also well, they're both hot. They both have millions of dollars. Yeah, what's not to work out? You know what I mean? What doesn't work out?
I think that there's a lot. I mean, also, and also when you have the option to date so many people, it's hard. But I think that it's also a case of, they're both really young, and I know that there was a lot of controversy around the Manchester thing, that he had made a joke about what happened at her concert.
First of all, the joke he made wasn't even that bad.
Right.
And secondly, she's dating a comedian. Isn't that what comedians, we make jokes about stuff. And I'm not saying I'd make a joke about the Manchester thing, but it's and also, is that a thing? I doubt she even cares.
Well, a lot of her fans did. And so, but the way she handled it was great, because she was like, I don't agree with him, but he's a comedian. He makes jokes. and he didn't apologize. And then she said, I don't agree with him. And I'm sorry for your feelings, but she also didn't apologize for him. And that's when I was like, oh, that's a good foundation, you know?
Well, the thing is, she's really smart. Like, when she's interviewed and stuff, she knows exactly what to say. She's very, like, aware. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, of course,
famous
I
a
think
long ass time.
She's been famous a long time. What is she, 7 now? I mean, she's been famous for 7 years. So she's
I know. She's turning 8 years old on Tuesday.
She's turning 8 years old. I mean, she did an interview. There's this great video of her petting a dog. I have to send it to you, where she's talking about her looks, and every time she pets the dog, she like pets it harder and harder and harder.
Oh my God, I love that.
The dog looks like he's like suffering. It's very funny.
I had a conversation with I keep almost saying her real name. I had a conversation with art therapists about being in a relationship.
Oh, how did it go?
Well, this is what happened. So
Uh-oh.
I had been staying at her place the 2 weeks before I went out to LA because I was subletting my place because I thought I'd be in LA sooner. And because of that, we were getting to spend a lot of time together. But in a way, you and Kike are like, it's almost like great that you started out long distance because no matter what, you would need to be traveling a lot. So it kind of set up a thing where it's like I was seeing her a lot more than I would be able to, even if I was in the city. And so now that I'm in LA, like I think I'm having a harder time settling into LA too, because I miss her in New York, which is hard. And I feel so self-conscious about like not being able to give someone like what they need in a relationship because I'm gone a lot. But she's going to
you know what people need, and I've found being in a long distance relationship, besides being forced to take photos of him next to a pool when he knows I'm working, is what they need is just communication. I mean, Kike and I want to see each other and be with each other all the time, but when you can't, you just talk to each other. And I don't think that, I know because you're used to like the physicality of being there and having to because you feel being physical is giving something extra, and it does. But also the most important thing is just that you're showing that you care and you're showing that you want to make an effort. And as long as you can show those things, you can do that in a multitude of ways. And get her dinner on Uber Eats, or talk to her, or message her when you think of her. And yeah, I mean, there's ways to be there now, especially with all this technology that we have, that you wouldn't have been able to be there before. It's not like you're like writing her a letter, therefore I miss down the touch of you. You know, you're just
Well, when I asked her, it was after we went to go see Gail. Shout out to Gail, who's been on the show. So, because women ones love, I know it's a hacky thing to say, but women ones love activities. So once you get in a relationship with and it's a more women one, they'll be like, well, what are we doing this weekend? Now, for me, I like to sit. So I'm like, well, I was going to sit. I was going to send emails. Then I was going to sit.
I'm the exact same as you.
Yeah. Then I like to go exercise maybe. And then, but then I have to go out for shows. But I can't say that. So I was like, so it's already pushed me to be more like social. Like we had brunch with a friend, and that's good. And then it was like, okay, we're together for the weekend.
That's good. You're responding like you're a robot learning human culture. You're like, we did brunch. That was good. But
literally, there's a comedian named Kevin Ryan in New York, and we were talking the other day about, he's in a relationship now, and his girlfriend moved to New York, and he's like, so she was like, oh, I want to meet your friends, and he's like, well, I see my friends at comedy shows, and we like catch up in the green room. That's it. He's like, but I had to like make it seem like I had a well-rounded life, so I had to like message my friends and be like, you guys want to go on a double date? And they were all like, what? And he was like, please.
I know, it's weird because Kike, I'm sure, thinks the same thing as me, because it's like all I want to do is like sit and rest, and then maybe go to the gym, and then you have to get ready for your shows. I mean, in a sense, when you do 6 shows in a night, people don't realize that it destroys you. And then because you're basically revving up to do shows at night. That's what it is. Revving
up. That's exactly the word.
And then we have to act like we're human.
Right. Exactly. And I was not, and it makes it hard too, because it's like all of a sudden I've got someone that like loves and supports me, and like she, not trying to brag, she finds me hilarious. So it's like then I can hang out with her, and she's like cracking up the whole time. So I'm like, oh, I'm killing it over here. So then it's like the urge to go out and do comedy for strangers who don't give a fuck about me. All of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to help me. Like if I have a stomach ache, they're not going to rub my stomach. So
right. Actually, you know who you should talk to about? You should ask Kike about this, because he's been on the other side. dating a comedian.
Right. That we would.
You want to ask him?
Sure.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Kike. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good. It's nice to hear your voice.
I'm so proud of both for the neck, please. I feel like
Thank
a mom
you.
watching the trailer. I almost cry.
You did?
Well, but Emma is
Thank you.
to my child.
How?
You're welcome. Tell
does
me
it-
what you want to ask.
Oh, I wanted to ask, what's it like dating a comedian?
It's fun.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know how to do it. I think this conversation needs to be in private. Yeah,
Okay,
I just
fair
try
enough.
to make like something bigger.
Because Mateo's probably
it's
staring at you
fun.
right now too.
What?
Mateo's watching you right now too, and people are listening, so you can't speak total.
Yeah.
I tried to tell the person I'm dating now, I tried to say, it's not, there's a lot. We were talking the other day, and she said, when we first started dating, you seemed a lot more confident in your comedy. Now you seem very insecure about it. And I was like, yeah,
that's true.
I was lying.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, I was lying.
That happened with Matteo too.
Because when you first start dating someone, you can't be like, oh, I'm a neurotic mess. You have to be like, oh, yeah, my career's going great. And then once you get them, once you hook them, you got to be like, every night, I'm a mess.
And I don't know how this bit is going to work. And I hope it goes well. And I'm going to practice this. I have 3 shows today, so I will try to practice, and at the end it will be better. You think, Amore? You think that it's going to be like that, Amore? That's what
Exactly.
he gets like nervous, but he's funny. Sometimes the joke is trying to stop to be funny because he's repeated so many times to me.
Let me tell you.
You don't think it's funny?
That's the other thing too. In the beginning, I go, it's fun to come to shows at the beginning.
Comedians are impressive like once or twice to their significant other, and then after that, it's a bore.
No.
But it's not a bore.
Make a new joke? No.
It's also not a bore too, because we're forgetting that they're not coming to the show to necessarily watch comedy. They're also coming to like spend time with us.
Yeah.
I forget that because I'm like, oh, you've seen all the jokes, and she's like, okay, I'm not coming to watch the jokes. I'm coming so we could spend time together. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I went to the comedy cellar like I don't know how many times.
700.
I don't remember even. I know everyone now.
Yes, and you see.
I really love all the like the how do you say the guys that are in the door?
Oh, security.
The security guys, they're so nice and like I don't know, huge, but like a bears.
Totally.
Like teddy bears. It's good. It's good to date a comedian. You just realize that you are like a little bit more because when I see Matteo at least in the shows, he looks like so confident and so like I don't know, and then he started to.
I'm wildly insecure.
Something like that. Not that much, but
it's so.
He had such a good body, and when we came to the pool, he said to Amore, I need to. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are you going? Where? And you relax. You're on vacation. You think I need to what you say about the sunblock? No, but it's not that much sun. But I think I need to put it on.
I'm nervous. It's a gay pool, so I'm like horrified.
No, that's so funny.
But you are in like a huge stage with a lot of people. How a small pool can you get like?
Because the stage is judging me for my brain. This pool is judging me for my butt.
No, the stage is also judging you for your butt.
Yes, that's true. The stage is watching your butt too.
This thing is it's so interesting too because seeing comedy through someone else's eyes when they start coming to a lot of shows. Because the art therapist said she was like, she was like, comedians are so anxious and sad. She's like, before they go on, they're like anxious, and then they'll go especially at the Cellar, everyone goes on like kills, and then afterwards they're like sad. She's like, they'll kill, and then they'll be like, I shouldn't have said muffin when I said turkey or whatever. And
I get that way all the time, Emma. I literally get that way I will literally walk off stage to people like shrieking, and in my head I'm just like, ugh.
Well, it's funny because I know that too, but hearing someone else observe it, and it's such a simple truth, I was like, yeah, okay. And she goes, she's like, I noticed that whenever a show goes well, comedians go, oh, that audience was great. But then if they have a bad set, they go, I suck.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're never taking when something's good, you don't take credit for it, and when it's bad, you absorb all the fault. And I was like, yeah, that's how it is.
What it is too is like you have to understand too, because when I'm saying this to the people listening, like when you do shows every single night, I mean, the reaction from the crowd. If I'd never done stand-up and went out and did that and the crowd react how they normally react, I would be like on cloud 9 for 8 years. But then the fact is like, oh, you get it 6 times in a night. You know what I mean? Like you start looking at it more like a science. You're like, oh, I have to work on this and I have to work on that, and they didn't respond to this and they like that joke better and da da da. It just becomes like, doing mathematics or something.
It's like mathematics. I also recently I had a set on Saturday, which I was so unhappy with, and I'm having a really hard time finding something to open my set, because I'm not opening with what I had been opening with that I did on Netflix. I'm not opening with what I opened with on Colbert. And what I wanted to talk about is I wanted to just like get right into like gender stuff, but it's coming out just being like, I'm the man one. That's like a lot for people. So it doesn't always, I'm getting a reaction I'm not used to, where it's like people are kind of pulling back when I first come on stage, and I'm having a hard time with it. But I also had this happened the other night before I came to LA, because I haven't been doing a ton of comedy out here, but I had it the other night. I'm having a set. It's going great. And then I have a joke about my uncle that I always refer to him as special needs. And I was really tired. And then I said the R word. And
oh my God.
I didn't realize it until the audience, it was not like a set that was going okay, and then the mood changed. It was going great. Like it was like a love fest. And then I said the word, and then I feel the pullback, and then I go, oh my God, I was like, I usually say special needs. I don't usually say retarded. And it was like, and then I'm up there going, he's my uncle, I love him. I'm literally, it's like I said something racist and going, oh, I have a black friend. It's okay. It's okay. Like I was like, no, we're really close. Like, he doesn't know I'm talking about him. That didn't work. Like I was like, like he's retarded. He doesn't know what's going on. Bombing. And then I was like, okay, look, like let's pull it back. I usually say special needs. I apologize. I misspoke. And then afterwards I was like, oh my God, it's so touch and go. Like people can be loving. That's why stand up is so intense, because they can be like loving you, and then it's like, nope, now we hate you. And it was like, that was a 30-second. That was like within 30 seconds that happened.
And also what's crazy too is like, how does the audience sort of all get on the same wavelength? Do you know what I mean?
Right?
How do they, like, I never understood that. I'm like, they all, from that person to that corner and that person to that corner, they've all decided, okay, we all agree on how we feel about this person. Like, how?
That's such a good point, because I didn't, it was so, this is the most quick that's ever happened, where it was like, it was such a hot crowd, and it was at the Village Underground, which is like a beautiful venue. It's my favorite place to perform.
Yeah, it's my favorite place to perform.
My favorite place. It's like packed. I don't know how many people it is in there, like 150, 200 something.
I think 250. 250.
The sound in there is great. I love the staff. We're having fun. And then I was kind of like looking like, wait, what happened? Like, what did I shit on my face? Like, what happened? Boom.
Did you get them back or no?
Kind of. I got him back when I said, wow, like, obvious, like, I said, like, I was like, feel how weird it got in here. They laughed at that. But then I fucked up again.
You have to address it, though.
I had to address it. This is after like 30 seconds, which felt like forever. But so I addressed it. They laughed, and then I go, I'm never gonna make that mistake and say retarded again. And then I was like, and then they went back to shrinking up, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Like I'm saying I'm never gonna say it again. I was like, oh my God! Like, fucking, I'm so nice to my uncle and his special friends. I write them cards.
Excuses.
I write them cards. I'm in the R word community pretty much. Like, I went to a special school. Like, I'm very sensitive to him and his needs. I just fucked up.
It's also okay to just fuck up. I mean, that happens. You know what I mean?
Oh, also, total disclosure. I say the R word in my personal life, everybody. I go, is that person? And then I say it. So,
oh my God, Emma.
I don't give a shit.
You know what? But can I just say something, though? I was thinking about this. Since when did comedians become politicians? Why are we suddenly forced to abide by the same rules that politicians do and speak so eloquently on things? It's like, you know what? Like, I'm trying my best to be obviously not punched down to people who don't deserve it, but like at the same time, I'm just making jokes. And it's like, we've gotten this standard now where comedians have to be like wildly extra caring. No, a comedian is here. No one should hold a moral standard to comedians. That is not our job. Our job is not to be here to be some sort of, Oprah Winfrey, everyone, let's learn about, blah, 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 blah. I mean, obviously I try not to be super offensive in mine, but,
and I don't mind being held to that standard. I'd rather have people be like, hey, don't say the R word than me say it, and everyone be like, but at the same time, it's like, give me the benefit of the doubt here. Like, I would hope by virtue of the other things that I've said, where it's like, I'm self-depreciating, and I'm also like trying to like make fun of people that are oppressive to other people. Like, everything that I'm trying to do, and you too, is like, like we're othered, like it's trying to like move something forward, and it's not easy. And like, I have to deal with a lot of like, isms coming at me, and then like I'm on the side of people trying.
But Emma, you're also being way too hard on yourself. I mean, you make a mistake, you move on. I mean, the good thing is that audience is not Colbert. They're not going to see it for the rest of your life. I mean, that's where you're supposed to be making mistakes. You're working them out at comedy clubs, and then when you go on stage or you're filming your next special, don't yell the word retarded.
Right. And then that's when I get kind of mad at people, because
you can call your next special that. You can call your next special that and be like, what's the big deal?
Could you imagine? I was backstage. You would be the one person to watch it. I was backstage at a show at a new venue in LA, and I was on a show with Dimitri Martin, who is so nice. Have you ever met him in person?
No, I just remember his show when I was in middle school, and then that's all I remember. And I barely remember the show. I just remember he had a big nose, long hair, and I was like, I don't remember anything else. You
want to talk about a guy who is he's just so like genuinely kind and calm, and he's really cute. Like, he's someone backstage, he's like going over his jokes like meticulously. He was like meticulous. This is the show I kind of bombed on. He's meticulously going over his jokes while I was literally like, is there free pizza here? And they're like, yeah, it's out front. And I'm like, oh, do I have time to go get it before I come back? So I'm worried about pizza, and he's worried about his jokes. Guess who had the better set? Fucking shoot me. But he is so nice, and he was talking about how he was just talking about having kids and writing his book and all that stuff. And we were talking about comedy, and he's like, sometimes I'm like, enough with the jokes already. And I was like, that's what you should call your next special, because he's such a prolific joke writer. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So I'll call mine the R word, and he can say his can be the enough with the jokes.
I have to go in like 2 minutes because they're kicking us out, so I'm going to lose reception. But I do want to say I want to name my special Faggots Revisited, because that's what Eddie Murphy called the track, or one of his titles on his album in the 80s.
Is gay.
Emma, watch what you're saying.
I feel it. I don't know if he's gay, but I think he's
Emma, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not going to say those words. But
I'm
I just think it's
my
funny
adderall kicked in, and I'm drinking coffee. So. I'm in this park. I'm in a Whole Foods parking lot. I'm in a Whole Foods parking lot in a Jeep with my phone plugged in, drinking coffee out of literally a bottle I bought at Whole Foods. Like, I'm literally sipping it like it's a brown bag of alcohol.
Can someone draw a picture of me on a rooftop in Spain in a Speedo with Kike, and then you in a parking lot in Los Angeles in a Jeep taking Adderall? sucking her coffee down in a smart water bottle.
Yep. In a parking lot at Whole Foods with a trucker hat on because I've started wearing a trucker hat because I don't want to get sunburned.
Emma, my stomach hurts. I'm laughing.
I'm all turned up. Come at me. I just hope the parking lot attendant comes over here. Also, I had my period for 3 weeks because of my birth control, and I stopped, so it's definitely made me a little more edgy for some reason.
Oh my God, Emma, I'm laughing so hard. Oh my God. Okay, all right. I think I need to go because they're kicking us out. But
it's like you're gonna call. It's like your special package. Oh, wait, we need to record. Okay, yeah. We gotta do this.
Yeah, well, we could do that. We can do that later. Yeah. We'll talk to Tyler. We'll do that. We can do that another time because I'm literally the staff is like, you need to leave. Okay. I'm like, oh God. Listen, I love you so much, and then I can't wait to catch up with you soon. And stay safe in LA.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Emma.